moving on in the article, your emotions are so important. Your mental state, in many ways, if it's negative, can create more metabolic acids than the food you're eating or the water you're drinking, right? In fact, you can create 2 or 3 times more metabolic acids from your thoughts than from your foods, diet, than 2 to 3 times more metabolic acids from your thoughts than from your acidic diet, such as sugar, dairy, and animal protein. Right, so exactly what I mentioned before. What you eat is 25% of your body chemistry, and the thoughts are the 75%. And the scriptures will attest to that, and I have a few scriptures lined up to illustrate that point. Continuing on, that's why those of us with acidic thoughts suffer a lot more than those of us with an acidic lifestyle. And you can tell, people that are generally positive and upbeat, they have a different look to them than people that are constantly negative, right? I'm just speaking in general. Your thoughts or words do become matter and can affect your physiology in a negative or positive way. And the way your thoughts become biology is as follows. When you have a thought, that thought requires energy for the brain cells to produce that thought. As you carry on that thought, you are using energy. And when you are using the energy, you produce a biological waste product called acid. If the metabolic acids from your thoughts are not properly eliminated through the 4 channels of elimination, urine, perspiration, respiration, or defecation, then your acids from your thoughts are moved out into your fatty tissues and connective tissues, causing imbalance and dis-ease. Emotion is energy in motion. Very true, right? Thought waves, brain waves. These are measurable phenomenon. When someone experiences negative emotions, they are producing metabolic acids at a very high rate. The rate of acid production is greater than someone who is working out. And actually, let's get a scripture that kind of relates to that, which is in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8. For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things. Right, because it's our thoughts that's determining our body chemistry, which is determining our health. But godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that is now and of that which is to come. Continuing on in the article, that's how your thoughts become biology or metabolic acids that make you sick, tired, and fat. When you start producing acids with your thoughts, this will activate the alkaline buffering system to neutralize these acids. If these acids are not buffered and or eliminated, they can create seriously health challenges in your body. Everyone knows that stress breaks down your body, but it's much, much, much more serious than that. Positive emotions such as love, peace, hope, faith, and forgiveness can all be alkalizing to the blood and tissues. The negative emotions of anger, resentment, and fear are the most powerful and acidifying of all emotions. The fear of the unknown is probably the most powerful and acidic of them all. I don't agree with that from personal experience, but I suppose there's also a scale on how strongly you feel different emotions, and the stronger it is, the more acids or alkalizing agent it's going to produce. Fear is so devastating to the body. Even if you're on an alkaline diet, overcoming a serious health challenge is practically impossible. There's a phenomenon that's very rare, but you can Google it, and it's where people's hair literally turns white overnight. An example of that, I think people dispute whether it's true or not, but people's Marie Antoinette, so right before her execution, her hair, or I think as she was walking up to the chopping block or the guillotine, her hair literally turned white in a very, very short period of time. I don't know if it was within, this was something that happened within minutes or hours, or it was a day. But this notion of people's hair turning white from fright is a concept that keeps coming up in pop culture. And here we have an explanation for how that's possible. Let's see. So if you're not feeling your best, although you are eating alkalizing foods and drinking alkalizing water, it's time to pay closer attention to the thoughts you are having. most of the time. Since your thoughts govern your emotions, you want to plant as many positive thoughts in your mind as possible. X, Y, Z. So I think the point is pretty clear, right? So our thoughts determine the health of our body more so than exercise, as we saw in the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. Let's take a look at a couple other scriptures. So we have Romans 12, chapter 2. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable before and perfect. May prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahawah. So this transformation that it's referring to, let's take a look at that word. It's G3339 in the Strong's Concordance. And let's see what this says here.
Strong's G3339, metamarphao.
Okay, great. And it says here, outline of biblical usage: to change into another form, to transform, to transfigure. Yahawashi's appearance was changed and was resplendent with divine brightness. Wisdom maketh a man's face to shine on the mountain of transfiguration. So this was a spiritual and a physical transformation. And how do we transform ourselves? It tells you, with the renewing of our mind. And finally, Proverbs: keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. So focusing on the Word and keeping our thoughts on the Word and on the Most High is overwhelmingly, above anything else, going to bring our body into a condition that's most conducive for our relationship with the Most High. Now, what wasn't talked about, and I want to tie this concept in at the end here, is that when we alkalize our bodies, it talked about disease, but a key component of that disease, as I've mentioned before, is parasitic organisms. And those parasitic organisms, the same way cancer was mentioned to, thrive on acidity. And when we alkalize our body, we aid in breaking down and destroying these parasitic organisms, which are demonic conduits, as we've established in previous lessons. So I think that's a good place to wrap up, which underscores the importance of our thoughts in alkalizing our bodies, which in turn drives out disease, specifically parasitic organisms, which are, in a sense, physical demonic strongholds. And as I posited in a previous lesson, the conduits by which demons or devils rather can enter in and out of us quickly. Shalom.